I hope everyone is enjoying their lunch and the opportunity to visit with our fellow librarians. If you aren't finished, please continue eating, but we will now begin the program by introducing the head table. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced, and please silence your cell phones for the duration of the program. We have, starting, TLA Executive Director Dana Braccia, TLA President Lingwei Jing, CRT Counselor and City Joe Johnson Committee Member Jace Center, CRT Secretary Melanie Scales, CRT Chair-elect Bethany King, and City Joe Johnson Award recipient Lisa O'Rear. And on the other side, we have Texas Bluebonnet Award Coordinator Sharon Lawler, Texas Bluebonnet Award winning author Max Brauer, and his editor Ken Wright of Viking, an imprint of Penguin, and the Texas Bluebonnet Award Youth Participation Chair, Ryan Cannon. I would also like to acknowledge the Texas Association of School Librarians officers in attendance. Again, please hold your applause. Tassel Chair Kate DePronio, Tassel Past Chair Becky Calzada, Tassel Chair-elect Nancy Jo Lambert, Tassel Counselor Susie Grissom, Tassel Alternate Counselor Joanne Reed, and Tassel Secretary Lucy Podmore. The Texas Bluebonnet Award TLA Executive Board Liaison, Janice Newsom, and the TLA President-elect, Jennifer LeBoon. We would also like to recognize all of the authors in our audience. We are happy to have you and your publishers here. As you were entering, you saw their names and their books on the screen. If you're an author and your name and photo were not shown, we apologize for the oversight. Will all the authors and illustrators please stand for a round of applause? And we have among us some very distinguished colleagues. American Library Association presidential candidate, Wanda K. Brown. She's the Director of Library Services for the C.G. O'Kelly Library at Winston-Salem State University. American Association of School Librarians presidential candidate, Judy Morellian, a literacies and libraries consultant from Tucson, Arizona. The Texas Book Festival Executive Director, Lois Kim, and the Texas Book Festival Outreach Manager, Leah Bogner. And the proud father of our award-winning author, Max Brauer, Mr. Jess Brauer. And Max's publicist, Bridget Haltzler. Thank you for joining us here today. The Christina B. Wool Memorial Fund awards a grant to a Texas school or public library for collection development purposes. This year's Wool grant is awarded to the Silverton Public Library. Laura Long submitted the winning application. Laura is not able to join us today, but Kathy Weeks and Tina Nance are here to represent the Silverton Public Library. The Silverton Public Library is the heart of the small town of Silverton, Texas. Their volunteer team of retired teachers stretches every dollar to help serve their patrons. Their proposal is to help build a collection that will spark a love of reading for the youth in their area. This grant will more than double the amount of funds that they spent on purchasing books for children 12 and under last year. Congratulations to Laura and the Silverton Public Library. Without the TLA staff and the local arrangements committee, the TLA conference and Bluebonnet Luncheon would not happen. This year's luncheon was coordinated and organized by the fabulous duo of co-chairs Heather Jankowski, librarian at Greens Prairie and Pebble Creek Elementary Schools in College Station ISD, and Jennifer Bluda, librarian at Hermes Intermediate, LaGrange ISD. These two women are amazing. They're creative, organized, hardworking, and thrifty. Under their leadership, CRT's TBA Luncheon Committee, made up of enthusiastic volunteers from around the state, spent many hours making sure everything is perfect for today's event. Sharon and I very much appreciate everyone's hard work. Without you, we would not be enjoying this TBA celebration. And the centerpieces you're enjoying on the tables were created by students at A&M Consolidated High School in College Station. Co-chairs and volunteers, please stand so we can recognize all of you. A thank you also goes to Mackin Educational Resources for providing the travel stipends for the parents and chaperones of the students who are here today. We would also like to thank our generous tabletop donors. You will find them listed in your program. The support of our luncheon sponsor and our donors allows us to provide a meaningful and beneficial learning experience for all. Next, I'd like to recognize Bound to Stay Bound Books. As our exclusive luncheon sponsor, Bound to Stay Bound is proud of their long association with and sponsorship of the Bluebonnet Luncheon, TLA, and the librarians across Texas. A special word of thanks also goes to Bound to Stay Bound for providing the beautiful baskets that are featured in our table decorations today. These baskets were handmade especially for today's luncheon by the Texas Basket Company in Jacksonville, Texas. We appreciate all of our friends and librarians who support Texas libraries, reading, and our Bluebonnet Luncheon. We are very grateful to Bob Seibert, Lori Smith, and the Bound to Stay Bound staff. However, this year we would like to go one step further. We want to show our appreciation to Milton Van Deusen. But before we start, we want to make sure that everyone in the audience is familiar with our esteemed honoree, Milton Van Deusen. His wife and Bound to Stay Bound colleagues shared a few photos with us of how Milton became such an important part of our Bluebonnet program here in Texas. Even as a young child, he was an avid reader. His love for reading helped him throughout his collegiate studies, and here's the proof. Milton is a family man, and we are happy to have his wife Nancy and his daughter Kelsey in the audience. It is our honor to present an official TLA resolution honoring Milton Van Deusen, Jr. Whereas Milton Van Deusen, Jr. has been a part of the Texas Bluebonnet Award history since its inception in 1979, and whereas, by establishing the tradition of providing beautiful, handcrafted baskets designed by the Van Deusen Basket Company, Milton and the Van Deusen family have enhanced each table for every Texas Bluebonnet Award luncheon for the past 26 years. And whereas, due to the increasing attendance at the Bluebonnet Luncheon, Milton Van Deusen, Jr., the Van Deusen Basket Company, and the Texas Basket Company have now produced in excess of 22,000 baskets for the enjoyment of attendees. And whereas Milton Van Deusen, Jr. and his colleagues at Bound to Stay Bound provide a biannual stipend of $1,000 to attend TLA conference, now, therefore, be it resolved that the Texas Library Association, the Texas Association of School Librarians, and the Children's Roundtable are proud to honor Milton Van Deusen, Jr. with this resolution. And heartily thank him for his 38 years of work and service to Texas librarians and the promotion of the Texas Bluebonnet Award and Luncheon. Congratulations to our TLA rock star, Milton. And Milton, Tassel Chair Kate DePronio will now escort you to the dais to receive your resolution submitted by the Texas Association of School Librarians and the Children's Roundtable.
You got me good. You got me good. Am I where I'm supposed to be here?
Okay, I think they want us in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of hold on. Oh, Joe.
There's Joe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
We look forward to working with Milton and Bound to Stay Bound for many years to come. And we're especially looking forward to their 100th anniversary in 2020. Now I would like to introduce Jay Center, a member of the City Joe Johnson Award Committee, who will introduce this year's recipient. Jace?
This year's City Joe Johnson recipient has been a teacher librarian for 10 years, and she holds a master's degree in library science from Texas Women's University. She is a pioneer in library practices in her district. She opened the library at Adkins Elementary in 2014 with a genre-fied fiction section, and she has encouraged others in the district to do the same. She was one of the first in her district to create a makerspace in 2015. She has organized numerous family literacy nights, facilitated an after-school sewing club that connected service projects with the needs of her community. She and her assistant lead 4th and 5th grade tech clubs each week and are working on a collaborative engineering project with junior and senior students in her district's Advanced Technology Center. She converted the traditional library into a learning commons and created an inviting atmosphere for collaboration. She has presented professional development sessions for campus staff, district librarians, TCEA's Librarian Strand, TLA, TIA, and Region 10. She has also made presentations to her school board. She is a Teachers Communication Committee representative, meeting monthly with her superintendent. She is a campus leadership team member, a Future Ready Schools campus leader, a campus web manager, a member of Follett's newly created Genreification Advisory Board. She dreams of one day having a large bookmobile and serving the students living outside the public library service area in her district. Until then, her car serves as the bookmobile during summer for students in her community. Wow, she deserves this. Please join me in celebrating our 2018 City Joe Johnson Award winner, Lisa O'Rear.
Wow. I would like to begin today by thanking the Texas Library Association and the Children's Roundtable for selecting me to receive such a prestigious award. I can't tell you how deeply honored I am, and I feel so privileged to be part of an organization that represents the work that we do with children. How lucky are we to get to serve children every day? I would also like to thank my coordinator for nominating me, my administrators, my teaching staff, my fellow library colleagues for writing letters on my behalf. I thank you all. For my family members here today and those at home, thank you for always being my biggest cheerleaders. And I have a very special thank you today. I often describe this lady as my right arm, but truthfully, she is the other half of my brain on many days. She is a beautiful, dedicated woman, and she is passionate about what she does. She's a recent MLS grad. She's my dear friend. She's my library assistant, Jen McCord. Thank you for all you do, dear friend. I recently had the opportunity to attend a Future Ready Schools Institute in Sacramento, and there were so many wonderful takeaways, but the one that continues to resonate in my mind is the need for us to tell our stories. You see, our role as a school librarian and the impact that we make is not always apparent, and it's up to us to tell our stories. You can be assured that our stories are being told, but they may not be reality. They may not be told from the correct perspective. For instance, someone walking past our learning commons might see a group of students eating lunch with their librarian, and they may say, "Oh, that's nice. She eats with her kids." Little do they know that the 4th grade student leading the group discussion that day is the same young man who came to our school mid-semester. He walked through the learning commons with his classmates for 2 consecutive weeks and left with nothing. Even after reader's advisory and a one-on-one personal interest survey, he politely told me, "You have nothing I like, and this is not like my old school." Okay, I was determined. It wasn't until I took him a book and an invitation to a Chat and Chew lunch group that things began to change. Keith came to the Learning Commons the next week with his lunch tray in tow and his book, and he sat down and he led the discussion with great detail. He was so excited. His mother emailed me later that day and said, "I don't know what's going on with this Chat and Chew thing, but my son is dominating the dinner conversation at night, and he is so excited about reading, but he can't wait to go share it with his new friends." We continued. His mother did come to a Chat and Chew. We finished up. We tweeted a picture of our group out and asked Mac Barnett, would there be a third book in his Terrible 2 series? And when he replied yes, Keith became even more excited. He came up with a whole new storyline. He thought that it would be great to add a third prankster to the title, to the book, and his title was The Tricking Trio. Okay? Well, Mac didn't take those ideas, and that's okay, because Keith was still excited. He was hooked on reading. You see, it was far more than lunch. It was far more than a librarian eating with her students. It was creating a reader. It was creating friendships. It was fostering a creative thinker, and it was connecting with families. I close today by thanking you again for this award, but I want to challenge each of you to tell your story with at least 3 people before you leave this week. And keep telling your stories, because it's those stories that are going to inspire all of us. But may we always be inspired by the children that we serve. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lori, for a beautiful job. She has done a great job in planning this entire luncheon. I'd also like to congratulate the Wall winner, Laura Long of Silverton Public Library, and the 2018 City Joe Johnson Award, Lisa, of Fort Worth ISD. Well deserved. I also need to thank the TLA staff, Kelly, Casey, Cindy, Elise, Dana, Shara, who have provided encouragement and support on our journey towards the Texas Bluebonnet Award Luncheon. At this time, I would like to introduce the members of the Texas Bluebonnet Award committees. On the program committee, and please stand when I call your name, we have Kelly Phelan, Terry Harkey, Julianne Bamford, Susie Grissom, Jessica Silva, Ruth Cook, Stephanie Inzana, Leslie Baker, Jean Darnell, and Sandy Brandon. On the selection side, we have Lauren Nalepa, Lori Laguna, Kate Steffer, Zulema Bewley, Veronica McKay, Kay Gooch, Layla Ellison, Jackie Bridges Shepard, Ryan Cannon, and Molly Kyle. At the close of conference, we welcome these new members: Catherine Harrison, Devin Austin, Heather Owens, Carrie Bresnahan, Amanda Gomez, Morgan Brickey, and Susan Neifler, which I didn't get that right again. Okay. At this time, the Bluebonnet Committee is going to circulate among you in order to collect your $5 and your raffle tickets. We accept cash or checks made out to the TBA endowment. Raise your hand if you would like to contribute, and the drawing will be held at the end of the luncheon. Thank you for participating. This year's winner, The Last Kids on Earth, was written by Max Brollier and illustrated by Doug Holgate. It takes the reader on a wild ride as Jack, Dirk, Quint, and June escape the zombie apocalypse. Adventure, inventiveness, and humor made this title a page-turning winner. Now, where are the kids? We will soon have 10 children here. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce the TBA Youth Representative Coordinator, Ryan Cannon. From the drawing in November all the way to the author reception, which was held this morning, Ryan has been responsible for the important details required to bring the students to conference. Everything he has done ensures the students have a memorable time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ryan Cannon.
Hello. I just wanted to start by telling the kids not to be nervous. Don't worry about messing up. You're about to watch me mess this up pretty well. I memorized somebody else's speech. I was so nervous, I memorized somebody else's speech. I memorized Sharon's speech before I came up here, and then about 30 minutes ago I realized that's not what I'm supposed to be saying, and that has nothing to do with what I'm doing. So I quickly rewrote one about 30 minutes ago, so you guys are gonna be okay. Okay, here's the speech that I took a lot of time on 30 minutes ago. Librarians, publishers, authors and illustrators, distinguished guests, parents and teachers who have all supported the Texas Bluebonnet Award Program. It's an honor and a privilege to be the youth participant coordinator and to be a part of this exciting day. Last fall, we received hundreds of applications from librarians hoping to share in today's event. It has been a wonderful learning experience working with the librarians whose names were drawn and meeting the students who were chosen to come today to Dallas. Please join me in welcoming the 10 student representatives from across the state of Texas.
Hello, my name is Noah Rutherford, and I'm from Crockett Elementary in San Angelo, Texas, and I will be representing District 1. Hello, I'm Shelby Britton, and I'm in the 4th grade at Claude Elementary, and I'm representing District 2. Hello, my name is Ty Trecca. I am in 5th grade at Purdo Elementary, and I'm going to be representing District 3.
Hello, my name is Jan Tinke, and I am in the 3rd grade at Halsville Elementary School, and I represent District 4.
Hello, my name is Jerry Hanford. I'm 11 years old. I am in 5th grade at Cesar Chavez Learning Center, and I'm representing District 5.
Hello, my name is Sienna Salcido. I am from El Paso, Texas. I go to Escarate Elementary, and I will be representing District 6.
Hello, I'm Daniela Arreola, and I'm in 5th grade at West Birdville Elementary,
in Fort Worth, Texas. I will be representing District 7.
Hello, my name is Sky Darnell. I'm 11 years old. I'm in 5th grade at Whitcomb Elementary, and I will be representing District 8.
Hello, I'm Connor Loafman from Shallowwater Intermediate, and I'm 10 years old, and I'm representing District 9.
Hello, my name is Ava Seward. I am a 5th grader at Specht Elementary in San Antonio, Texas, and I will be representing the last but certainly not least, District 10.
Okay, no, that's hard to follow. Okay, you guys did great. Now, Sienna of District 6 will introduce the winning author.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sienna Salcido, and I am a 3rd grade student at Escarate Elementary in El Paso, Texas. I have the honor of introducing to you this year's 2018 Texas Bluebonnet Award-winning author, Max Brallier, and illustrator Douglas Holgate, for the book The Last Kids on Earth. Max Brallier is the New York Times best-selling author of more than 30 books and games. He was born in Belmont, Massachusetts on September 8, 1983, and attended Ithaca College in Ithaca, New York, and here he earned his dual Bachelor of Science in 2005 Film Production and Creative Writing. Mr. Brallier's career started off as a game designer for the virtual world Pop Tropica. Not only is he the author and creator of the Last Kids on Earth series and the Galactic Hot Dog series, but has written other books. These books include Uncle Grandpa, Adventure Time, Regular Show, and Steven Universe, just to name a few. And did you know that Mr. Brallier has written books under the pen name of Jack Chabert? These books include the graphic novel Pop Tropica, Mystery of the Map, and the Erie Elementary series. And for you grown-ups, old folks, and gray-haired adults out there, Mr. Brallier writes stuff for you too, such as Can You Survive the Zombie Apocalypse and The Nights of the Living Dead. Mr. Brallier lives in New York City with his wife Elise and his baby daughter Lila, who is a cutie pie just like her daddy. Douglas Holgate is a freelance illustrator comic artist from Melbourne, Australia. He attended the University of Newcastle in Australia and studied illustration. He has been illustrating for over 10 years. He illustrates for children's fictions, but you might know some of his best work on Steve Coulter's Cheesy Mac and, of course, the Last Kids on Earth series by Max Brallier. In 2012, Holgate won an Illustrator Australia Award for Best Unpublished Series and also received a Bronze Ledger Award in 2016 for her self-published comic Meralinga. Congratulations, Mr. Brallier and Mr. Holgate, on your award. Now here is Jerry Hanford, who will talk about the winning book, The Last Kids on Earth.
Hello, my name is Jerry Hanford. I'm 11 years old, in the 5th grade, and I'm currently attending Cesar Chavez Learning Center in Dallas, Texas. Before I begin, I would like to personally thank everyone who came out this morning. Furthermore, I would like to give a huge thank you to my principal, Dr. Garcia, my assistant principal, Mrs. Lopez, my homeroom teacher, Mrs. Milton, and a special thanks to Mrs. Ortega, our librarian, who helped make all of this possible. This morning I'm here to briefly talk about a book written by Max Ballier, an author of who we'll discuss later. A book which for me sheds light on the subject perhaps not expressed enough today, leadership. Give me a moment to unpack the plot and I'll show you exactly what I mean. The Last Kids on Earth is a story that everyone can get behind because it is a story about triumph. More than that, it is a story about teamwork. In the make-believe town of Wakefield, all chaos breaks loose as zombies try to take over the town. But like myself and many of the great leaders in the audience today, Jack realizes that he cannot do it alone. Jack quickly assembles his team. Each member brings unique skills and strengths. First there is Clint. He is a scientific-driven friend. And then there was Dirk, the muscle. Last but not least, there was Jack's crush interest, June. And let's face it, there's always a girl. Together, they form a small army of misfits to fight the zombie apocalypse. As you can imagine, there are fights and battles, near losses and great defeats, but in the end, the team wins against the menacing evil monsters and zombies. Naturally, our heroes make a few mistakes along the way. Clint doesn't think it's a good idea to invite Dirk to join them. Given Dirk's history of bullying, and Dirk thinks that he doesn't need anyone, Jack persuades all the other boys that they're all better off together. Jack has this idea that he has got to rescue June, and he imagines she'll be thrilled by his heroics. When he finally finds her, it turns out she is tough and doesn't exactly want or need rescuing. She doesn't even want them to be there. But then she realizes that what she needs is a reason to laugh, and the goofy group can provide that, so she joins them. Fortunately, there are 2 more books in the series. Can the team continue to survive while under attack from monsters and zombies? What inventions will Quint think of next? Has anyone else in the town survived? Will their parents ever come back? Do they want them to? It's quite easy to overlook this book as just another tale about witty children in the suburbs tramping around fighting evil. But for me, what's pulling back the cover of excitement and scary monsters, the meaning of togetherness is seen. When faced with opposition, when there is no way out, 9 times out of 10, you must remember that you are not alone. There are usually people right next to you when you least expect it, who are willing to stand and fight with you to the very end. Mr. Ballier, the author of our book, may have thought he was merely writing another zombie adventure, but I assure you, he has accomplished more than that. Thank you, author Ballier, for your contribution. I can't wait for our next adventure.
And now we will be presenting the award to Mr. Max and Mr. Douglas.
Hello. Is it too loud? No? It's a lot of people. I became an author because I love speaking to large groups of people in public. That's why I was like, I'm going to be an author. Yeah. This is, I think, the first award I've ever won, and that's super cool. And it's like nice. It's like really nice and solid and heavy. I have a bookshelf in my office that like has all these books that are always falling over, and I'm gonna put this there to hold them because the last thing I had was my grandfather's urn, and it knocked it over, and it knocked it over like 2 days after putting it there, and I was like, all right, no good. So I'm going to do my thank yous first before I forget. I'd like to thank my publisher, Ken Wright, my editor, Lila Sales, my publicist, Bridget Hartzler, our designer, Jim Hoover, everyone at Viking Children's, the Bluebonnet Committee, librarians, the readers, the kids, you guys. I don't know, or return your seats, but can I get another round of applause for how well-spoken those kids are. And my family. I want to thank my family, all of them. This is a note from Doug Holgate. He is sorry he can't be here. He has better things to do. He says, sincere thanks to the committee, the librarians, and all the readers out there. He's in Australia, so he's like wrestling an alligator or something right now. I thought a lot about what to say here, and I watched other speeches on YouTube. Thanks, YouTube, to make sure I didn't say the same thing somebody else said. And I go to schools a lot, and I do like a PowerPoint, and I try to be really funny, and I like halfway succeed, maybe that, if that much. But I'm going to be like a little bit more serious today. I have like some serious thoughts. They're not like political or anything, don't worry. If you started getting nervous. No, they're about me a little bit, and about readers and kids. I'm going to read a email that I got from the girlfriend, a girlfriend who was babysitting her boyfriend's kids. And I get emails like this every now and then. And this, just to preempt it, this is not about Last Kids. It's about books in general. It's I'm not referring to Last Kids when it talks about how great this book is. It's about books and reading. Dear Max and Doug, I've never read any of your books until today, and I've got to say it's an absolute godsend. I'm 25, but this book I was reading wasn't for me. It was for my boyfriend's 8-year-old. You see, he's a very anxious child. His parents don't believe he has anxiety, but some days are just absolutely heartbreaking. The last couple days has been brutal for him. Schoolwork has him feeling anxious from time to time, and last night he was so nervous he threw up a few times. He was feeling nauseated again from scaring himself about whether or not he was going to hurl. I had to calm him down and get him to bed an hour early. He usually watches TV, but I figured that wouldn't be enough tonight. He was a bit reluctant when I said I'd read before bed because he wanted to watch TV, but I started reading your book instead. It was interesting, engaging, and had brand names that caught his attention. Nice. That's the key. which helped him relate, even though he was neither 13 years old nor an orphan. I read the book, and at one point, he even scooted closer. He was already tired from his nerves, so mid-chapter 2, he was yawning. Not that it's boring, he really likes the book. And by chapter 3, he was asleep. I kept reading anyway, just in case he was only half asleep. No puke, no nervous groans in his sleep, no shuffling. He's in my bed, comfortable and happy right now. So thank you and Mr. Holgate for letting our boy have some peace. So I get emails like that, not like that a lot, but I get emails, that are similar to that, like many authors who write kids books do. And I am lucky. I'm lucky in many, many, many ways. I'm lucky for all the million reasons that everybody in this room is lucky, because I'm assuming that most of us don't have to worry about necessarily where our dinner is going to come from and can we afford it. But I'm lucky, right? I'm really lucky. But I'm also I'm trying to be tell our story, right? I'm trying to be more generally honest about myself and things like that. It's a part of growing, I think, and growing up even as you're already grown. And even though I'm lucky, I have had lousy moments in life because my brain loves to treat me in lousy ways. It's his number one hobby. It likes to beat me up and put me down. And so 3% of children aged 6 to 12 have major depression. And anxiety disorders affect 25% of kids between 13 and 18. And 80% of kids with anxiety and 60% with depression are not getting help. And that's the serious ongoing, lifetime needs treatment levels of depression and anxiety. It's not that, lousy, crappy, awful day that just happens. It's not intermittent bouts of darkness and fear. It's not the 10-year-old kid who goes home after school with nothing to do, then goes on Instagram and sees that all his friends have gone to do something without him, and like that's the most heartbreaking thing I can imagine. And so that's a thing for kids, right? And I was not that kid, but I am now that adult. Unfortunately, that's life. And the stuff that I turn to like help me shut off like my damn lousy brain for a little while is entertainment. It's like monster movies, it's zombie books, it's sci-fi. It's stuff that like can be dismissed as like pulp genre fiction, but to me, it's like a lifeline. It's like a really important, valuable thing. And so I want to thank the committee for nominating something that like could be dismissed as like another zombie book. The book that's like not so literary, that's not taking like a new hard look at history. The prose is, it's a book about buddies like having a good time and fighting monsters and zombies and living in a crazy cool treehouse. And that's the book you nominated. One of the books you nominated, that's the book that kids, that for some reason some kids gravitated to this year. So thank you so much. You know how like young kids will like sit in front of the TV and watch the same movie over and over and over and over and over again, like 1,000 times? Like they can watch Frozen on repeat like a million times. My mom, I used to babysit a lot, and I'd watch a lot of these kids. And my mom had this theory that like when you're a young kid, the whole world is like new and crazy, and you don't know what to expect every day. So like everyone's 3 times as tall as you, and no control of your life. You just get like scooped up and like thrown into a car, and your parents are like, hey, we're going to Aunt Gertrude's house, and you're coming because you have to. And like that's sort of like the sort of like weird part of being a kid. And my mom's theory was that, not doctor tested or anything, was that there's like something to rewatching a movie or rereading a picture book the same time over and over and over and over and over again that is really comforting because it's the same every time. It's like the one place in like a 4-year-old kiddo's life where like what happens next, the next line of dialogue, the next scene, the way it ends, that like the very end of The Lion King, Simba's gonna take back Pride Rock and everything's gonna be okay. And I think there's something to that idea that doesn't just apply to like 4-year-olds watching the same movie over and over again, but to elementary age kids, middle school kids, people all ages, adults. The world is like confusing and scary and full of challenges, and sometimes it feels like really good to sit down and read a book you've already read 30 times because you like it and you know what happens. And if you're a kid who's anxious, who's nervous, who finds life scary, whose brain wiring sort of sucks like mine does, and it's making it even harder than it already is day-to-day life, there's something really powerful about like the monster zombie stories, adventure stories that take you to like a different world, a different place, and just take you away for a couple hours. It's escapism. I'm gonna do that really cheesy speech thing or like presentation thing I used to do in like middle school, and I'd be like, I am. The Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines escapism as the diversion of the mind to purely imaginative activity or entertainment as an escape from reality or routine. And there's sometimes like a negative connotation to books that are just escapism. But that escapism is the thing that got me through those moments and gets me today through those moments of depression and anxiety. And it's like books, movies, TV that can just shut off and like quiet my mind for a little while. And there are kids like me who just want to like shut off and just relax and enjoy something for a little while. So thank you for nominating the monster zombie thing, like the escapism thing. Thank you for that. And librarians have sometimes said to me, like they gave this book to a student and they're like, well, I don't really like zombies, but hopefully they will. And thank you for that, for not being like, I don't like zombies, and so Luke's not reading this one. But like, yeah, like thank you. Like to every librarian who helped take the monster zombie adventure goofy book. Like for like a moment, like those books aren't just books. It's like it can be like a lifeline. So thank you guys. I hope you know and understand what wonderful power you wield. I know you do, but we often talk about like how important it is like to find that first book that gets a kid hooked on reading or creating lifelong readers and how important that is. And that is like 100% obviously super true. And that's like that's like what you guys do. But I think there are times when it's more immediate than that and more urgent than that. We probably don't know it. The librarian doesn't know it. The author doesn't know it. But there are times when you're not helping to create a lifelong reader. You're helping a kid like get through the day, like get to sleep that night, get to the next day. And that is not something that I hear as much as I hear about the importance of reading, because it opens up new doors and new windows into worlds. Like, that is extremely valuable, but being able to go to sleep without vomiting is also extremely powerful. And so by nominating like escapism, like The Last Kids on Earth, you like have, to me, in a way, like lended real credibility to the type of books that helped me get through the day and the type of books that help other kids get through the day. I'm going to read that one last time, that 80% of kids with anxiety disorders and 60% with depression are not getting treatment. Books are not the cure, and there's no magic cure, but if they help a kid escape and like feel better for a couple hours, like 3 hours out of a 24-hour day, if you're helping a kid like forget about his parents' divorce or like some awful thing that's going on, or just the way he is wired, like, or she is wired, that is like, what is more important? Like, what is a better job than that? What is more powerful than that? I don't know. So your impact it's that, it is, but it's that important. It's that immediate, and that's the thing to me. It's so immediate, and it's so powerful. And that's all I've got. I'm really grateful to you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Max, for showing the world how to ward off the zombies, and for bringing Jack Sullivan, Dirk Savage, Quint Baker, and June Del Toro into our lives. These characters, these are characters our Bluebonnet readers will never forget. And now I would like to announce, well, I don't need to do that. Okay, I would like to invite Connor Loafman of District 9, and Daniela Ariola of District 7 to please come on stage so we can draw the winners for the endowment. Oh, there they are. What? Yes, come this way. Okay. Thank you. Okay. The winner of the collection of autographed books is, go ahead.
The winner of the collection of autographed books is Cindy Bishop.
Thank you. All right. The winner of the quilt is Man One. Yeah. What's his name?
The winner of the quilt is Man One.
Man One.
Man One.
Okay, I have I would like Man One and Cindy Bishop to please come up after so we can get a picture of them with their prize. And there is one more announcement. Yes? Okay, here we go. All right. The winner of the Zombification Prize is Amy Keller. And she can pick up her prize in the door prize area. Thank you. Now may I have the autographed books and the quilt winners over here so we can get some pictures. Thank you.
Please be sure to take time while visiting the exhibit hall to thank all the companies who contributed to today's luncheon. And once again, thank you to Bound to Stay Bound for their generous sponsorship of the TBA Luncheon. We appreciate the contribution by Mackin for the travel stipends, and we thank all the table donors and door prize donors for their special gifts. And before we go to the door prizes and the closing, let's give Max a chance to head over to the signing table. And now Bethany King, the 2018-19 CRT chair, will tell you about the door prizes and getting your books autographed.
All right, before we do that though, we do have special gifts for everyone at their tables. So the adventure in The Last Kids on Earth begins 42 days after the zombie apocalypse. So the person at your table who is closest to the age of 42 gets to take the beautiful basket decoration home with them. Please do not start a zombie apocalypse deciding who that is. All right. All right, so this year's door prize co-chairs, Emily Gardner, Emily Cooperstoch, and Dana Collins have outdone themselves this year with this year's incredible collection of door prizes. Thank you, Emily, and Dana. And then after we adjourn, look for your name on the slideshow to find out if you have won a door prize. If your name appears on the slideshow, show your conference badge, your name badge at the tables over here to pick up your prize. Be sure to stay and watch the whole slideshow, though, to know if you've won a prize. So, of course, the highlight after all of this, though, and the wonderful speech that Max gave, is the author signing. So, these are the instructions for that. Have no fear, there are plenty of books. So please wait until the adjournment and then proceed in an orderly, non-zombie manner to the line at the right of the stage. The luncheon ticket holders do get to go first. If you are here and you do not have a luncheon ticket, please wait and head to the end of the line after the luncheon ticket holders. And that is it for today. Thank you everyone for coming. We hope you enjoyed your lunch today. And this adjourns our luncheon. So.